Okay, so today for Test Tile Thursday, you're going to learn how to apply Underglaze to create your realistic seed pod. You can find this handout on the sign holder and it has the directions for you. So today we are going to be using test tiles. We are going to finish the seed pod either today or tomorrow, fire to bisque, and do the decoration of the seed pod or gourd at the bisque stage. This is greenware, this is bisque, fired once. Remember, underglazes can go on both, okay? The reason is it's very messy, as you noticed with the pumpkin, to put underglaze on greenware. For a round object, it's a lot easier on a test tile. So we'll make the test tiles today, and we will fire them to see their colors, and then we will put the decoration of the seed pod to make it look realistic at the bisque stage. Okay, so you will need your glaze record. There are more glaze records in the glaze room. You can glue them to your sketchbook. You'll write the date. Today's the 14th. The description is test tiles for your seed pod, and it's very important that you write your colors here and maybe even kind of a general idea of the amounts, like a lot of white, a little green, a little bit red, that kind of thing. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to find your object and look really careful at your object. You might think, okay, this is brown, so I am just going to decorate the whole thing brown. Well, in nature, nothing is one color, perfectly one color, okay? So there's shades of gray, blue, brown, other colors in there, and you want to look at the outside too. If it has this on it, it's probably clay, so you might need to wipe that off a little bit. Also, if you get your object a little bit wet, you can see the colors a little bit better. So you want that in front of you. Then you're going to take one of the tiles out of your Ziploc on your table. I already made them leather hard for you. And then please close the Ziploc. And you are going to go and pick out 2 cookie cutters, or you can do 2 of the same size if you want. All right? So they do need to fit on there, pretty much 1 tile per student, okay? So go ahead and cut out your shape. This clay, this excess clay, you can just put back in the same Ziploc as the tiles, and then I will come around and get them later to recycle it. Or if you want to, you can come up and put it in the orange bin because it's already leather hard. So whenever you cut something with a sharp edge, you need to smooth that edge. So the next step is to smooth the edges with your thumb or finger, because those will become sharp, and you might actually want to keep these. You might want to use them as an ornament or magnet or something like that. So smooth the bottom and the top. We did this before with your sgraffito tile. And then before you forget, take your needle tool. You'll probably have to go get your toolkit and write, and you can use a pencil too if you want. Write your name and class shape on the back so you don't forget. And it's easier to do now than when it gets wet. So you really only need 1 test tile to decorate. You can decorate the other one any way you want, but if you need 2, they're there for you. Okay, so now comes the point where you're going to start mixing your colors. So on your table, you will find a paper plate. Please try to just take 1. They are not the best palettes. They're pretty absorbent, but they're what we have for now. So you're going to look carefully at your object, and then you're going to mix colors. So underglazes can be mixed like paint. So I can make a tan color, a blue-black color. I can make red-orange, whatever colors you think are in there. A little bit about color theory. If you think it's best to lighten a color with brown, it'll be more like a pastel brown. So think of other colors that you could use to lighten, like yellow, or to darken. So everyone thinks that we should use black to darken a color, whereas if you add blue, that works really well. For those of you that have taken Foundations of Art or Drawing and Painting, you may have learned those things. So I washed all the brushes for you because they were disgusting, and I put a sign there. So please wash your brushes and put the bristles up when you're done, okay? You will need a bucket. You can share a bucket with your neighbor at your table, and a brush. You will want to make sure the brush is clean, always, and then squeeze out any extra water. You don't want to add a ton of water to the underglaze. Okay, every time you pick a new color, you will need to clean your brush so we don't contaminate these little cups of color. I put the general colors you would need here. There's no pink or purple because none of our objects are pink or purple, okay? So what you would do to start to make this color, and you only need a small amount because you're just decorating a test tile, is you would just put a little bit on here. Now the consistency looks like pudding, don't eat it, okay? Underglaze, it really doesn't matter what consistency it is because there's no glass former. Glaze, it has to be like melted ice cream. Then when I go to pick my next color, I'm going to make it darker with blue. It's very important that you completely rinse your brush out until it comes clear, and then you squeeze the extra water out. So to darken this, I'm going to use a little blue and a little black. So I put that next to it, clean my brush. You might even have to change your water a couple times. And then a little bit of black. And I didn't mix it right away into the color, I'm just putting it next to it. Okay, now the way that you will mix these colors is you drag the colors into each other. So if you've ever seen a paint demo, this is a good way to do it. So I'm going to drag a little bit of the blue into the brown and see if I get a good darker color. And then you're just going to put that on your test tile and test that out. See, I did say the plate absorbs some of it. Then try a little black and brown. So what you're testing for, guys, are all the colors that are on your seed pod. Okay? And then on your glaze record, you'll write mixed brown and black, mixed blue and brown. Then there are lighter colors too. So to make the lighter colors, you would make sure your brush is really clean so you don't contaminate the water. You might have to change your water, like I said before, so we don't contaminate these cups so everyone all day can use them. And then try to make a tannish or a lighter color. If you want a good tan color, the way to make tan is white, a teeny bit of yellow, a teeny bit of brown, a teeny bit of red. That makes a good tan for a lot of you. So basically, you're just going to make a tile that has your basic colors in it. And we're going to fire it and see how it turns out. You can do a design or just colors like that. If you need the other tiles to practice on, go for it. If you just want to use that as an ornament or decoration or something, that's okay. If you want to put a hole in it to make it an ornament, this will close up in the kiln. You can't just put your needle tool in. That will close shut. So you have to use the end, the big end of the needle tool, and you go in the front and the back and smooth the edges. You can also do sgraffito like we've done before, where you paint the underglaze on, let it dry, and then decorate it. Then these two will go in the kiln room on the greenware cart, and then you'll work on this. We are not painting this today. If you finish your seed powder gourd today, we'll fire it. Otherwise, you'll have time to work on that tomorrow. Don't forget to record your techniques here, and the directions are right here if you need them. Okay, have fun making your tiles.